There was one point in time where I could barely walk for 5 minutes. And now I think I could do maybe 15.
The salary scandal surrounding 1000lb Sisters has exploded, with Tammy Slaton reportedly breaking all ties with TLC for fans. This marks a dramatic turning point in one of reality TV's most controversial journeys. But for Tammy, it's the result of years of pain, betrayal, and disillusionment. Tammy never sought fame. Born in Dixon, Kentucky, she spent much of her early life hidden away, struggling with health issues, financial hardships, and complicated family dynamics. Her youth was defined by hospital visits and daily survival, not by dreams of celebrity. When TLC approached Tammy and her sister Amy with the idea for 1000lb Sisters, she was skeptical but hopeful. The pitch sounded genuine, a raw, documentary-style journey of family love and resilience that could inspire others battling body image struggles, food addiction, and health crises. For Tammy, this seemed like a chance to reclaim her story. Instead, she discovered what many reality stars learn too late: cameras don't just document lives, they manipulate them. TLC shaped narratives, cut footage into dramatic arcs, and magnified conflict. The first season drew massive attention. Amy came across as lovable, funny, and quirky. Tammy, however, became the show's spark plug. Her fiery personality, blunt honesty, and refusal to play the role of a perfect reality star made her the one viewers couldn't ignore. TLC quickly realized drama so damned, Tammy was the drama. Every fight with Amy, every clash with doctors, every breakdown sent ratings higher. Executives marketed her as the sibling fans loved to hate. Episodes were edited to showcase Tammy's failures more than her successes. Lighter moments, laughing with Amy, playing with her nephews, or trying to stay positive, were cut. What remained was the angry, difficult Tammy. The formula worked. Memes, viral clips, and heated online debates turned her into a social media sensation. But the fame came at a steep cost. Viewers mocked her health struggles and temper. She was cyberbullied relentlessly, with thousands of strangers insulting her weight, intelligence, and relationships. Tammy felt trapped, vilified by audiences, and exploited by the network. The harshest betrayal, however, came from the paycheck. Despite 1000lb Sisters pulling in millions from advertising and streaming, Tammy and Amy reportedly earned only $1,000, $1,500 per episode in the early seasons. Compared to other TLC stars with smaller audiences, this was shockingly low. Tammy felt disrespected, telling friends she was given crumbs while her life and dignity were put on display. At first, she endured it, hoping her compensation would improve as the show grew, but things only worsened. By seasons 2 and 3, Tammy's health was spiraling. Emergency scares, rehab stays, and hospital visits became regular storylines. What was life or death for her became must-see TV for viewers. According to insiders, Tammy once begged producers for a break to focus on her recovery. TLC allegedly refused, insisting that leaving would disrupt the show's momentum. She reluctantly continued filming, but her resentment deepened. Editing only fueled her anger. Scenes were stitched together to make her appear constantly furious. Tender, humanizing moments were erased. The world saw only the Tammy. TLC wanted them to see the villain. Online attacks escalated, further damaging her mental health. Meanwhile, TLC doubled down on the drama. The messier her story, the better the ratings. Tammy's image was plastered across marketing campaigns, yet her bank account told a different story. Fans assumed she was getting rich. In reality, she remained underpaid while the network cashed in. Friends say Tammy often vented that producers treated her like she was disposable, profiting from her suffering while offering little in return. Her breaking point came when she began noticing irregularities in her paychecks. Rumors circulated that TLC was withholding money. When her personal bank records didn't align with what she believed she was owed, Tammy grew furious. By then, she was no longer just a reality star. She had become a cultural talking point. Social media buzzed with debates. Was she the villain TLC portrayed, or a victim of manipulative editing? YouTube channels dissected her every move. TikTok clips of her meltdowns went viral. The more people argued, the more TLC profited while Tammy remained underpaid and under siege. Her health continued to deteriorate. At one point, she was placed on life support. Her survival uncertain. Cameras rolled through it all. For Tammy, it was the most terrifying moment of her life. For TLC, it was gripping television. Insiders later claimed producers seemed more concerned about whether they had enough footage than about her safety. By season 4, Tammy was openly discussing leaving the show. The problem? Contracts. Like many TLC stars, she had signed multi-season agreements with strict exit clauses. Quitting could mean financial penalties or lawsuits for breach of contract. Tammy was forced to keep filming with a network she no longer trusted. The toll was devastating. She grew increasingly withdrawn, snapping at family members, which TLC, of course, filmed and aired. Fights with Amy and other relatives became ratings gold. Online, fans piled on, branding her the villain. Tammy insisted the network intentionally painted her as a monster. Still, she hoped for change, better pay, fairer edits, some acknowledgement of her humanity. But instead, she got excuses. When whispers of withheld paychecks surfaced, Tammy began looking closer. Her bank statements seemed to confirm her worst fears. She wasn't receiving the money she had been promised. The final straw was respecter. Lack of it. Tammy reportedly told friends, "They treat me like I'm disposable, like my pain is entertainment." After years of enduring low pay, harsh edits, health scares, and relentless bullying, Tammy Slaton finally broke. For TLC, she had been a star. For Tammy, the experience left scars that went far beyond the screen. The salary scandal was just the surface. At its heart was a woman who wanted to share her story but ended up feeling exploited, misrepresented, and betrayed. And now, as Tammy cuts ties with TLC, fans are left asking, was she ever the villain or just the victim of a network that cared more about ratings than reality?
Be able to see her in the next 30, 45 minutes after that. So, I just wanted you to know.
What Tammy Slaton discovered would ignite the spark that ultimately destroyed her relationship with TLC. After years of being underpaid, misrepresented, and humiliated on 1,000 Delby sisters, Tammy was no longer just angry, she was prepared for war. For weeks, she quietly planned her move. She gathered contracts, pay stubs, bank records, screenshots of producer text messages, and even whispered admissions from crew members who dared to tell her the truth. Tammy wasn't about to give TLC another excuse to dismiss her concerns. This time, she had proof. The confrontation happened far from the cameras that usually followed her every step. In a Nashville conference room, Tammy sat across from the same executives who had once promised her a brighter future. They saw her as disposable, a reality star they could exploit. But this day they realized Tammy Slaton was done playing the state puppet. She slammed a folder of documents on the table, her voice sharp and unwavering. "Tell me," she demanded. Executives shifted nervously, clearing throats and adjusting ties. They had expected an emotional outburst, the kind they could dismiss as Tammy being Tammy. Instead, this was deliberate, organized, and impossible to ignore. Inside the folder was a damning collection, paychecks that didn't match contracts, episodes filmed but mysteriously unpaid, unexplained deductions, and months of meticulous notes. According to one insider, it was like David hurling a rocket, Goliath, but this time David was ready to burn the empire to the ground. The executives scrambled for explanations. Counting mistakes, they said. It's complicated. They suggested her math was sloppy, that such things happen in television. Tammy wasn't buying it. Her voice trembled with fury. As she shouted, "You made millions off me. Millions, and you gave me scraps. While you sat back counting your money, I was fighting for my life, broke and humiliated." The room fell silent for the first time. The star who carried their show was challenging the network's authority not through lawyers or leaks, but face to face. Tammy wasn't just threatening to walk. She was ready to expose everything. And fans who had watched her cry, struggle, and nearly die on camera would believe her. The executives tried to calm her. They floated promises of contract renegotiations, vague pay increases, even spin-offs centered on her. But Tammy was finished with promises. Betrayal was the issue now, not money. According to sources, Tammy stood up, glared across the table, and delivered words that shook TLC's hallways. "I'm done. I am not your puppet. I won't film another second for you." Then she walked out. Panic erupted at TLC headquarters. Their lightning rod, their ratings magnet, had quit and worse. She had evidence. Within days, rumors leaked. Insiders confirmed Tammy's claims of withheld pay, rigged contracts, and exploitation. Social media exploded. Hashtags demanding justice for Tammy trended. Comment sections filled with outrage, accusing TLC of greed and cruelty. For the first time, Tammy wasn't the villain of the story. She was the victim of a powerful network that had profited from her suffering. Even longtime critics began siding with her. Behind closed doors, Tammy broke down. Alone in her car, she cried not out of defeat, but out of release. Years of humiliation, control, and being reduced to a caricature had ended. She wasn't just walking away from a show. She was reclaiming her dignity. Her family's reactions were mixed. Amy, who had stood by Tammy since the beginning, understood her pain. She too had been underpaid. Yet Amy feared the consequences. Without TLC, they might lose financial stability and the fame that had given them opportunities. Chris, their brother, was more direct. He told Tammy she had every right to fight back. Amanda and Misty also supported her, insisting TLC had never given Tammy what she deserved. But privately, there was fear. Tammy's walkout wasn't just quitting a show, was declaring war on one of the most powerful reality TV networks in the world. And TLC wasn't known for forgiving. Damage control teams were called. Lawyers drafted statements. According to leaks, executives